Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from the New York Times. This was published on November 5th. It's written by Shira Frankel. Look at the title here. The Rise and Fall of the Stop the Steal Facebook group. This is kind of like a gloating, oh look at this misinformation, evil Trump supporters not accepting the election, stop the steal, it was legitimate. Now these are the same people that for 4 years, well 3 and change, almost 4, push this idea of Russian collusion, Russian hacking, all this bullshit, election tampering, meddling, you name it, they claimed it when it came to Russia and the elections and Trump's legitimacy and everything else. Now they want us to believe, all of a sudden they believe this election, for whatever reason, is perfectly friggin' legitimate. It's 100% above the board. Nothing shady going on here. And these people should just accept it. Facebook removed this group because they went, oh shit, people are going to organize on this and realize the steal is on. We're not going to get the candidate we want. In its short lifespan, it was one of the fastest growing groups in Facebook's history and a hub for those trying to delegitimize the election. Excuse me, no, the Democrats delegitimize the election when you have, oh, I don't know, 23,000 and change votes just showing up, okay, in Minnesota. Okay, 135 or 36,000 just showing up in Michigan. All of them for Joe Biden. Just mail-in ballots, not one of them a Trump supporter, nothing to see here, nothing going on. You've got them stopping Republicans in Pennsylvania. Okay, Philly was the 23,000. I'm sorry, 23,000 and change. Okay, but you have people in Pennsylvania, you have the Democrats in Pennsylvania checking ballots, but they won't allow Republicans in. Okay, they've kept them out. Okay, Wisconsin, same type of thing. Arizona, okay, Congressman Gosar, elected official, you know, member of Congress, has the legal right to go and observe. They wouldn't let him in. Okay, Michigan, they kicked out, Whitmer sent down, okay, people. I don't know if it was a Board of Health or was it the fire marshal or something like that, sent them down. And they just cleared out the Republicans. I showed this in the video that I did before this one. But basically, oh, delegitimize the election. You keep observers out from the other party and you want to claim that the election's legitimate. You claim for almost 4 years the Russians have been doing all this shit with our elections. And you want to now try to act like, oh, well, these are just perfectly legitimate? Get bent. Seriously, Shira. You sleazy bitch. The first post in the new Facebook group that was started on Wednesday was innocuous enough. Welcome to Stop the Steal, it said. But an hour later, the group uploaded a minute-long video to its Facebook page with a pointed message. The grainy footage showed a crowd outside a polling station in Detroit, shouting and chanting, "Stop the count." Below the video, which was quickly shared nearly 2,000 times, members of the group commented, "Biden is stealing the vote. This is unfair." Now, she's leaving out the fact of why they were there was the fact that they kicked Republican observers out, made it so they couldn't even look in through the goddamn windows because they boarded them up. Okay, she's leaving all these things out. And you notice the tone of voice I used? Because that's how she's trying to, that's the tonality of that. That's how she wants people that are reading this article to see it as. They want that, she wants that tonality in their head. Because it's ominous. It's evil. Look at them. They're trying to stop the counting of the votes. No, they're trying to stop the counting of the illegitimate ballots that are all coming up for fucking Biden, which is, a statistical friggin' impossibility. Now, one person in Detroit with these mail-in ballots that are just being pulled out of your ass, okay, not one of them voted for Trump. Bullshit. And we also, we also don't forget that last election, okay, after Hillary and that paid off Stein's fucking debts and shit, she called for the recount in Michigan because they thought they were going to get their rig job there. And it exposed that there was way more fucking ballots than there were registered voters. They had well over 100% turnout. It was like they had thousands upon thousands upon thousands of ballots. And Stein said, let's shut down the recount. Nothing to see here. And then you hear, oh, there's no signs of massive voter or election fraud. There was tens of thousands or something ridiculous like that, maybe even more, okay, of votes that were still not counted in Michigan during the recount. It was tens of thousands. And I'm not talking low tens. It was high tens. And, yep, shut it down. Nothing to see here. Yep. And she's trying to portray like, oh, nothing to see or bait, you know, like, oh, look at them, you know. They have no reason to worry about Michigan. Why are they doing this? Because they want to stop legitimate votes. No, they want to stop the ballot box from being stuffed through voter and election fraud. Shira, whatever her name is, she's a real piece of work here. The viral video helped turn the Stop the Steal Facebook group into one of the fastest growing groups in Facebook's history. By Thursday morning, less than 22 hours after it had started, it had amassed more than 320,000 users, at one point gaining 100 new members every 10 seconds. See, this is why it got shut down. It scares the shit out of them. That people are that awake to what's going on. That in that short amount of time, you've got 320,000 people on Facebook. You know, this is like one of the fastest, like, growing things. They're going, oh, shit, fuck me. We need to shut down their ability to communicate and organize. I mean, 100 new members every 10 seconds? That's 10 members a second. That's pretty substantial. As its momentum grew, it caught the attention of Facebook's executives, who shut down the group hours later for trying to incite violence. No, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. They basically said, go down to the polling locations and show up there, okay, to let them know that you're not going to let them get away with stealing the election, was what, from what I understand. That's not inciting violence, you lying sack of shit. Even so, the Stop the Steal Facebook group had done its work. In its brief lifespan, it became a hub for people to falsely claim that the ballot count for the presidential election was being manipulated against President Trump. Oh, really? In my previous video, I show all the shady shit that happened. You literally want to say when you can go and look at how hundreds of thousands of votes, 100,000 and 30,000 votes came in Michigan, all for fucking Biden. 23,000 in Philly alone, all for Biden. Wisconsin, same friggin' type of thing going on. I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head. You people are disgusting. Seriously. I mean, this is ridiculous. But I mean, do they want to admit that this shit's going on? No, because they're involved or they are complicit in this theft. New photographs, videos, and testimonials asserting voter fraud were posted to the group every few minutes. So basically, it's a place where evidence is being put together. A place where it could be referenced, where people can actually look into it and verify this shit. That's why another reason why you got to shut it down. From there, they traveled onto Twitter, YouTube, and right-wing sites that cited the unsubstantiated and inaccurate posts as evidence of an illegitimate voting process. Oh, so pointing out that in the middle of the night, 130 some odd thousand fucking votes show up in Michigan and they're all for Joe Biden? Pointing that out is, how did you put it? Evidence of an illegitimate voting process? Well, fucking yeah, it is, considering it's statistically and realistically impossible. Piece of fucking work. So, Stop the Steal, about the group, yep. I'm assuming, you know, the line through it, how dare they. Stop the Steal's rapid rise and amplifying effects also showed how Facebook groups are a powerful tool for seeding and accelerating online movements, including those filled with misinformation. You're deeming this misinformation. They're posting shit that I show on my previous video. Actual legitimate reporting, okay, of discrepancies, like, oh, I don't know, the 90, where was it, Georgia, 95, almost 96,000 or something like that difference, okay, between people who voted for Joe Biden and the Democratic senator, and it was like almost nothing between Trump and the Republican senators, which in the states that are quote-unquote contested, it's really shady shit when there's obviously something going on and you see something like that, but nothing to see here. These people are ridiculous. It's so disgusting. They deem something misinformation and just expect it to be accepted as misinformation. Facebook groups, which are public and can be joined by anyone with a Facebook account, have long been the nerve centers for fringe movements such as QAnon and anti-vaccination activists. Oh, what about BLM? What about Antifa? You know, they terrorists are, you know, and people who are destroying shit and looting and stuff like that, they're organizing using Facebook, and that's perfectly fucking fine because it's the left, all right? But people who don't like the idea of kid diddling with QAnon, I mean, mind you, QAnon's got some whacked out fucking shit going on. And I'm not a QAnon. I don't necessarily look at the fact of QAnon and subscribe to the things. I really don't. But that don't like kid diddling, you got a problem with people who don't like kid diddling. And this anti-vaccination activists, you mean people who were basically going, oh no, this anti-vaccination, basically with the idea of coronavirus or other vaccinations, and coronavirus when not being tested, and when you see these things that they put in the vaccinations, you read the inserts, and there's some things that you might want to be aware of. They're not necessarily anti-vaccination. They want safe vaccines, which there's a difference. When you have a vaccine court and the federal government oversees the shit and the taxpayer pays out on the damages, that should tell you that there's some shady shit going on there as well. It's a whole other topic. But yeah. So anyway, comparing this to QAnon and anti-vaccination activists, okay, fine, whatever. Because they want to give this idea, it's fringe, it's out there, it's whacked. And while Stop the Steal has been deleted, other Facebook groups promoting falsehoods about voter fraud have popped up. Yeah, you're not going to keep this quiet. Facebook groups are powerful infrastructure for organizing, said Renee DeResta, a disinformation researcher at the Stanford Internet Observatory. Oh, God, like one of these ideas of the 65 degrees of separation that they did, okay, with the YouTube influencer fucking bullshit, where they had, like, Tim Pool somehow linked to, like, everyone on the alt-right. They had Steven Crowder linked to everyone on the alt-right. I mean, it was ridiculous. And it was literally like 65 degrees of separation. Okay. But you're going to believe this Stanford lefty bitch that, oh, God, you know, misinformation. No. They don't like the fact that it's information that's counter to what they're pushing. They don't like the fact that these people are actually showing, hey, look, this is what's going on. Look at how these votes came in. This is what they have a problem with. She added that the Stop the Steal Facebook group helped people coalesce around a baseless belief that the election was being unlawfully taken from Mr. Trump. Oh, really? Again, do I have to start going through all these shady things that happened? I went through them in my other video. It's baseless. There's no proof. Oh, just votes showing up in the middle of the night. Okay. Republicans not being allowed there to observe the counts. Oh, nothing. Oh, is it not illegitimate? We only have one side going through the votes. You're just going to have to accept the numbers. Okay. This is the shit that they're pushing as legitimate. These people are disgusting. They truly are sleazy, like just the nastiest of like evil people. They try to act like they're the ones on the moral high ground and they're the better person. When you're pushing shit like this to cover up a theft of an election, you are the world's scummiest, biggest, nastiest, just... I'm going to end up like just going off. So I'll just say piece of shit. This is ridiculous. Tom Reynolds, a Facebook spokesman, said that the social network removed the Stop the Steal group as part of the exceptional measures it was taking on the election. Basically, they want this narrative to be out there. They're trying to control the narrative. They're trying to control what people see, believe, everything. They think that they can program us to just accept the theft. And when you have people revolting against that idea, oh, we got to shut them down. Why won't you be good people and just accept the fact that we stole the election? Because Republicans didn't have, and conservatives and the right generally didn't have a spine for a very long time. And now that they do, the left doesn't like it. And it's because they've kept walking over the right. They've kept walking over conservatives. They kept walking over independents. They kept walking over everyone that wasn't with their fucking program. They've stepped on them. They've shit on them. Okay. They've turned them into like these racists and everything else. Okay. Through perception. And, you know, I mean, not obviously the only people buying it are the people that they've got drinking the Kool-Aid, but they've done all this. And it's gotten to a point where people like myself, because I don't subscribe to the false left-right paradigm, okay? Conservatives, Republicans, it doesn't matter. All these people that were on the side of Trump and everything else, okay? Because you made it an either or, all right, with the left. You guys did that. we've been stepped on enough. We say enough is enough. We're not going to let you steal the election. Fuck you. We're not going to roll over, and you don't like it. Well, guess what? Life fucking sucks. You can push this all you want. But it comes down to the courts, and I hope Amy Coney Barrett doesn't prove that she's a fucking Roberts like she has with, like, when she was on the federal court ruling for the Illinois fucking lockdowns being constitutional, ruling for large corporations and bullshit like that, you know, showing she's not a constitutionalist. Hopefully she comes through if it gets to the Supreme Court. I have no faith in her. Okay, Lagoda or whatever her name was, the daughter of Cuban immigrants, she would have been the perfect choice. Her track record as a judge shows that she would have been the appropriate choice because she would have heard the case for Pennsylvania, and they wouldn't be pulling the bullshit that they are right now that Amy Coney Barrett allowed to fucking happen. And what gets me is you have Levin, okay, Mark Levine, or whatever the fuck his name is on the snow. He shilled her hardcore. Does he call out the fact that she was the reason that Pennsylvania, when they resubmitted to the Supreme Court, she was the reason that Pennsylvania got to pull the shit that they pulled? No. He should. Amy Coney Barrett allowed for that clusterfuck in Pennsylvania. Oh, I don't have enough time to read 100 pages over the weekend. I understand you have like a bunch of kids, but the Supreme Court, you stupid bitch, should take precedence where you're a justice. You should have been able to do that. Okay, your kids are old enough, they could have like made themselves dinner and shit so you could read the 100 pages. But no. So, but anyway, I hope she doesn't show out to be a Roberts like I'm expecting her to be. So, yeah, they don't like the fact that this is going on here, you know, people are organizing shit like that. They really don't like it. The group was organized around the delegitimization of the election process, and we saw worrying calls for violence from some members of the group, he said. No, they didn't call for violence. What they did is they said, go to the polling places and make yourself be known. Number one, that's at least from what I understand. Number two, when you have all these votes coming in for Joe Biden and not one in these lots of 100,000, 20,000, 150, 130,000, 150,000, not one of them's for Trump. You want to talk about delegitimization of the election? Simple math, statistics, all that show that that's impossible. And you want to talk about delegitimizing the election? Get bent, buddy. These people are friggin' disgusting. Stop the Steal was born on Facebook on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time as the outcome of the presidential election remained uncertain. About 12 hours earlier, as the vote counts showed a tight race between Mr. Trump and Joseph R. Biden. Ha ha ha! Excuse me? They showed a tight race? Oh, Florida, landslide, Texas, fucking landslide. You're not going to call those because you tried to pull your fucking shenanigans. You couldn't pull it off in those two states. Conveniently, these states where they can stuff fucking absentee and mail-in ballots still haven't got their counts fucking done. They keep pulling ballots out of their fucking asses until they've managed to get it Biden ahead of Trump. Yeah, nothing to fucking see there. No, nothing to see there. Tight race my ass. Tight race my ass. Mr. Trump had posted without evidence on Facebook and Twitter that they are trying to steal the election. No proof. Oh, excuse me. He's calling out the shady shit going on. You need context. When he's saying how they won't let Republican observers in to observe the fucking counts. How they're literally showing up in the middle of the night with boxes full of fucking ballots. You piece of shit. You are a piece of shit, Shira, whatever that fuck your name is. Yep, filters are completely off. The shtick is at like 10. Actually, probably closer to Spinal Tap 11. This is ridiculous shit. All right, and I haven't had a chance to do videos, and yeah, I've just had to deal with this bullshit while dealing with life, and it's been kind of sitting there. So yeah, this is me getting shit out, and the shtick is going to be on full here with the language. Mr. Trump has since repeated that assertion openly in remarks in the White House and on social media. Yeah, and I, in a previous video, showed where all this shady shit's going on. I've mentioned shady shit here that can be going verified. The idea of a stolen election quickly spread among Mr. Trump supporters, including to a Facebook user named Kyle Jane Kremer. Ms. Kremer, 30, a former Tea Party activist, runs a conservative nonprofit called Women for America First. She created the Stop the Steal Facebook group. Now, I love this one. Oh, evil Tea Party. Oh, no. Okay, number one. Number two, okay. The idea of a stolen election. People were literally witnessing this shit. They're trying to make it sound like Trump called for this shit. I'm watching the numbers come in. I stayed up into the wee hours of the morning, and I'm watching all these numbers come in, and I'm going, this doesn't make fucking sense. How the hell did they find all these votes? You're looking, and Biden's numbers going up, and I'm like talking like large numbers, like with like Michigan, the 133,000, and the 23,000 with Philly with the totals as I'm checking it. And there's none going up for Trump. And then I see it put out on a graph, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what I was noticing, definitely. So people are noticing this on their own. But Trump called them to do this shit. No. See, people don't have their own agency, according to the left, because Trump supporters are all dumb, and he tells them what to do, and they do it, according to them. In an interview, in an interview on Thursday from a protest in Atlanta, Ms. Kremer said that she had started the Facebook group after speaking with conservative activists and seeing social media posts about voter fraud. She said she wanted to help organize people across the United States on the issue and centralize discussions over protest rallies. Yes, see, that's what they don't want. They don't want you to have a place where you can organize, where you can set up, where you can actually combat this shit. They want to knock your legs out from under you so that you can't fight the steal. But they try to play it off as something completely different. Oh, conspiracy theories. Okay, then why is Michigan kicking the Republic? Why did Whitmer send people down to kick all the Republican observers out? And then they fucking boarded up the windows where they were counting ballots. Nothing to see here. Completely legitimate. Why would people in Michigan vote for more of the type of shit that Whitmer has put them through? You have to be a complete and total fucking moron to do that. And I highly doubt there are that many morons in Michigan. But oh, nothing to see here. These people are retarded that they think that they can pull this shit off and people aren't going to know. Or at least that they're going to accept it. These people are evil. Truly evil. I knew other people saw this the same as I did, that there were people out there trying to steal the election from the rightful person, Ms. Kremer said, referring to Mr. Trump. You mean President Trump? He's still president, motherfucker. Screw you, Shura. Conveniently, Mr. Trump there. I want us to be able to organize, to take action, which Facebook and the left and Democrats, no one wants that. Silicon Valley doesn't want that. The only people who want that are the people. And they're trying to make it sound like it's just like the evil conservative Republican right. No, a lot of people who weren't Republicans voted for Trump that were paying attention, that were Democrats. Okay? They saw this shit go on. All right? So you can try to play it off. It's a fringe group of Trump supporters, but a lot of America saw this happen on both sides of the false paradigm, whether it was on the left or the right. Your narrative doesn't hold water. It really doesn't. You people are evil. Once the Facebook group was live, she said, it took off. Hundreds of members joined in the first hour. Then people began sharing videos, including the one showing people chanting, "Stop the count" in Detroit, and photographs, which were quickly shared to other Facebook pages and groups. Yes, okay, but why don't you give context to why they were chanting "Stop the count"? Because the Republican observers had been kicked out, the windows boarded up, and not one fucking vote was coming out for Trump. Okay, which is a statistical impossibility. When all these massive dumps of ballots are coming in, not one vote for Trump, you get the Republican observers kicked out, and you're trying to be like, oh, nothing to see here. Oh, look at them, the evil conspiracy theorists. When you're leaving out the context of what that "stop the count" was over. You people are disgusting. But anyway, and photographs which were quickly shared to other Facebook pages and groups. Oh no, it's spreading. It was like lightning in a bottle, Ms. Kremer said. The group grew so fast, we were struggling to keep up with the people trying to post. Yeah, because a lot of people were aware of what the fuck's going on, and that's why it was shut down and censored. Oh no, we're not. We don't censor conservatives. We don't censor anyone to the right of us. We don't censor anyone that isn't for Joe Biden, or call them out, or call out the shadiness of the Democrat Party. Oh no, we don't do any of that. Yet here they are doing it, going, oh, misinformation. Oh, you know, the characters in 1984 that ran the Ministry of Truth would die to have the control and power of Silicon Valley. They would. They would die for that control. They would kill for it, probably, because they wouldn't want to lose their own lives, but you get the idea. I mean, this is some seriously fucked up shit. Oh, God. Now here. This is where they try to dismiss it. Many of the posts shared anecdotal stories claiming voter fraud or intimidation against Mr. Trump supporters. You mean President Trump supporters, number one. Oh, I've already said that. Okay, President Trump supporters. Okay, second, anecdotal stories. You mean they were posting actual, like, screen captures of, oh, I don't know, the voter tallies between different times and when they were updated, and how there was no Trump votes. They were posting graphs of, like, from Wisconsin and Michigan, where you literally see them all of a sudden count the absentee ballots. Not one Trump voter's in these absentee ballots that are coming in, and they're finding as many as they need to beat Trump. How fucking convenient, mind you. You mean that's what they were posting? Because I'm pretty sure that's what it was. One post asserted that poll workers counting the ballots were wearing masks with the Biden campaign logo, while another said that Mr. Trump supporters were purposefully given faulty ballots that could not be read by machines. No, that's not what was said. Oh my God, you lying sacks of shit. They gave them Sharpies to get their votes disqualified. And when they were asked, why are we using Sharpies? We shouldn't be using these, right? They said, just use it. You'll be fine. And you now have a bunch of voters. And this was all in heavy Trump districts. You sleazy, lying sack of piece of shit. Sack of piece. Sack. You sack of shit. Lying sack of shit. So these people are now appealing to have their votes count because of the shenanigans there. You also had people with Sharpies who were at the ballot, you know, the ballot locations where they're counting them, taking Sharpies to ballots to invalidate people's ballots. And you're trying to completely change what happened. You've created this work of fiction to push your bullshit about why those ballots couldn't be read by machines. It's documented that the Sharpie thing happened on the note of giving people Sharpies and poll workers having Sharpies to invalidate ballots. Nice try, though. Many of these posts, images, and videos have been proved false. By who? Oh, by conveniently the New York Times, who's just citing someone else, like probably Snopes. Some of the photos and images were edited or otherwise manipulated to back the idea of election tampering. Bullshit. Okay. Let's, real quick. Tracking viral disinformation. No 21,000 dead people in Pennsylvania did not vote. No one said 21,000 people dead people voted. They go for the most absurd fucking shit. How Twitter policed Trump during the election. Like, basically, this is their bullshit. Study considers a link between QAnon and polling errors. Oh, bullshit. Twitter has labeled 38% of Trump's tweets since Tuesday. I mean, there's a simple reason workers covered windows at Detroit vote counting, covering bullshit for them when they've literally got Republicans kicked out. No, Joe Biden wasn't suddenly awarded 138,000 votes in Michigan when he was. They just try to dismiss it. Okay. Literally, you know, the Gateway Pundit, who is considered credible, was reporting on this shit. They verified this shit. So keep talking out your ass. Some of the photos and images were edited or otherwise manipulated to back the idea of election tampering. Yeah, sure, okay. Facebook has removed or labeled some of these posts, though new ones are appearing faster than the company's fact checkers can take action on it. Now, what I love is they're trying to just dismiss These literal, what they're trying to say is okay, they're edited or otherwise manipulated. So when you take, literally, you take the screen capture of the vote tallies and you put them next to another vote tally and you compare them and you say, this was when they shut things down. All of a sudden they got these 135,000 votes and they all went to Joe Biden. That's what they're, I'm sure, considering manipulated, edited, or however else they want to look at it. Because technically, by their broad definition, I'm sure it meets it. These people are disgusting. They don't like the fact that they can't shut this shit down. Others posted about violence. One member of the Facebook group wrote on Wednesday, "This is going to take more than talk to fix." Wow. They instantly went with the violence on that one. I would have went legal action, taking it to the Supreme Court, fighting this through legal means. But they instantly got to push this idea of violence. Got to love that. Underneath that post, another member responded with emojis of explosions. You don't show this. This is what's funny. They could have taken and shown this, but obviously they got a narrative to push here. Because if it truly was like that, because I'm sure it was like several posts down and probably referring to someone else's comment, watch, that's probably how it would be. It's the New York Times. They could have screen capped it and shown it. But no, they didn't do that. On Thursday morning, the Stop the Steal Facebook group's growth skyrocketed further, according to the data from CrowdTangle, a Facebook-owned social media analytics tool. So, people on Thursdays are waking up more and more to the shady shit going on, going, what the fuck? They start flooding to the group, and they're like, oh shit, we got to shut this down. They didn't like that. That was when right-wing figures such as Jack Posobiec, a pro-Trump activist, and Amy Kremer, Mrs. Kremer's mother, and a founder of a group called Women for Trump, began posting about the Facebook group on Twitter. See, it spread like wildfire, and it freaked them out. They don't want people organized. They don't want people to be able to communicate. They don't want a place where these people can get together and actually gather evidence and show the shady shit going on. They don't want one place where that can be collected either. So they don't want people to be able to share it, okay, and build a case for what's going on. But they also don't want, like, say, the average, tuned out person to maybe come across it and get woke the fuck up to what's going on. I mean, these people are ridiculous. But yeah, so I started posting on Facebook and Twitter. Ali Alexander, a political operative who previously went by the name Ali Akbar, also tweeted dozens of times about the Stop the Steal movement to his 140,000 Twitter followers. See, they don't like this. It was getting spread around. Their messages, which were shared thousands of times, were a rallying cry for people to join the Stop the Steal Facebook group and take action in local protests against voter fraud. You know what's funny? Is like Philly, they're trying to say is completely above the board. Before Trump was involved in an election, New York Times used to call out how corrupt Philly's elections were. They said that was one of the most corrupt places elections-wise in the country at one point. How things have changed. I mean, this is ridiculous how they're trying to portray this. In just its first couple hours, more than 100,000 people joined the Women for America First Stop the Steal Facebook group, wrote Mr. Posobiec. Okay, so 100 people joined the Women for America First Stop the Steal Facebook group. Okay, yeah. How evil. Women for America First. In comments below his post, and many people cheered. In comments below his post, many people cheered the fact the Facebook's group's popularity. Yes, because it goes to show that we're not just going to roll over people who voted for Trump, people who are not wanting Biden and the Democrat fucking agenda. We're not rolling over to your shit anymore. That's what scares you. So you got to try to put a stop to it. We're not just going to roll over and accept this bullshit. The tweets helped send more people to Stop the Steal. Interactions with the Facebook group soared 36 posts a minute on Thursday morning, up from roughly 1 post a minute, according to CrowdTangle data. Our Tangle data. Oh no. Oh my God. 36 posts a minute. They're freaking out over that because they know it's only going to get bigger. It's going to Streisand effect. It's going to snowball. Mr. Posobiec, Mr. Alexander, and Amy Kremer did not immediately respond for a request for comment. Why would they respond to you when you're writing this fucking hit piece like this trying to Go, oh, conspiracy theory. Oh, just ignore the fact that there was these hundreds of thousands of votes. We debunked it. When it's actually physically shown. At Facebook, executives were notified of the group by Facebook moderators as they began flagging posts for potential calls for violence and protests to disrupt the vote. No. Stop the Steal was basically after the fact is when it took off. They were going to polling locations to make their presence be known that you fuckers are being shady. We know it. And to basically create situations where you could not hide this many people showing up and just go, just the fringe Trump supporters. Oh. But hey, you know, portray it however you want, even though it's fucking La La Land. And you wonder why they call you people fake news. The company also received calls from journalists about the group and its explosive growth. Oh, God. Oliver Darcy. You got to deplatform them. Like I told you to deplatform Alex Jones. Deplatform them. You know that's what happened. When they say calls from the media, you know Oliver Darcy was the first one to pick up the fucking phone. That little soy-filled bitch was the first one to do it. You know it. I know it. We all know it. He's like the poster child for it. Journalists are supposed to report on stuff. They're not supposed to go, censor them. They're not journalists if they're doing that. By mid-morning, executives were discussing whether they should remove Stop the Steal, said one employee involved with the discussion who was not authorized to speak Facebook took down the group on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Ms. Kremer said that she was angry that Facebook had removed her group and that she was in the discussions with the company to reinstate it. Who she should get is Steven Crowder's half-Asian Kraken, Bill Richmond. That lawyer, he's never lost a case against him. He'll get that shit reinstated. He'll be shitting purple Twinkies if she gets him. She accused Facebook, along with other social media companies, of censoring the Stop the Steal movement. Yes, of course, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They don't want this out there. They don't want to make it look like, you know, they're doing it, though, but they're going to do what they need to do in their eyes to shut things down, to silence this, to have people just take this rigged fucking election down the throat, okay, to bend over and take it up the fucking ass, okay, like a fist up to the fucking elbow from like some huge-ass fucking bodybuilder. That's what they want you to take a bodybuilder's fist up your ass to the fucking elbow with this election. That's how bad they want to anally rape you with this shit, and they just expect you to roll over and accept it. I'm not accepting it. I want to see this fought all the way down to the end. Because this is complete horse shit. Go to the Supreme Court and I hope ACB fucking shows that she's got a spine and doesn't pull her fucking like Roberts type status shit that she's shown in her lower courts rulings when she was on lower courts. Or a lower court, I should say. Oh, yeah. Facebook had other options, she said. They were flagging our posts, and we could have worked with them. But this is what they do. They censor. Yes, exactly. Still, Ms. Kremer said that before the group was taken down, its members had successfully organized events in dozens of cities. She had set up another website about voter fraud and was now directing people to it, she said. Yeah. See? They go, oh, well, we minimized her message. Yes and no. What are they going to now? Censor that on censor links to it on social media? I'm sure. Are they going to censor search results for it? I'm sure. They think that they can shut this down and shut us up. They think that it's just going to work. They're in for the long haul, whether they want to or not. It's just not, we're not going to just roll over. On Facebook, dozens of new Stop the Steal groups have been created since the company removed Ms. Kremer's group. One had nearly 10,000 members. Another had just over 2,000. Oh, no, 2,000 members. See, even if you have 2,000 or 10,000, they want you removed. Okay? The 320,000 scared the shit out of them. But even 10,000 or 2,000, they want everyone silenced about this because they just want people to accept this bullshit. Anyway. Yeah, I've covered this well enough. I'm leaving things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.